Hello,
Yeah.
and welcome to what will be a very fun episode of Pokemon uh, Nuz Genlocke. Yeah. Um, Race to
Yeah.
not die. Yeah. Um, so we're here continuing along Route 104, which I don't think we've gotten an encounter for yet.
Uh, no, I don't think we do actually, mate.
So we'll
Yeah.
get this encounteroo. I hope it's something good.
I hope it's Taylor.
It is not going to be a Poochyena because we already have one.
Thankful for that.
So Aido, while I'm trying to get our encounter, how do you feel about pocket watches?
Well, I think they're a handy tool that any person in this day and age, and definitely not the
Miss out.
1800s, should have on them at all times, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, I'll be getting one in a few months myself, won't I, Chase?
Yeah, you will be. Oh, fuck. Okay, we already have one too. Um, we were just bantering about Ado could not get his Fitbit to work. And my suggestion, which I think is genius, is why don't you get a pocket watch? And Ado has proceeded to, you know, go back to his 1800s old timey voice.
I went a bit like East End London on you, didn't I? 'Cause I was
Nice.
like, what the fuck is going on? Pocket
Oh,
watch.
god damn it.
Oh, you joking? Fuck. I swear that's like a 1% encounter or a 5% encounter, man.
Oh, fucking A.
Oh.
Put him to
Yes,
sleep.
I was actually thinking before we recorded. Hold on, it's 20% actually. Oh, Taylor's actually less percent than that. In the last run through that we had through this, you'll be glad to know, by the way, viewers, my Fitbit has synced, so now it has the correct time on it.
Good. Yes, this is critical.
Alright, I'll give you a down. We've got Owner Airport on map.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
So in the last run through, we had a few episodes where we'd introduce a random question to each other without asking it beforehand, and just asked the other one what would happen. So a bit more of like some of the ones that we've had have been like quite like stupid or like funny, if you will. Not your average ones, but this one's a bit more of a normal one. Obviously, I'm not trying to get like too traumatic or anything. But what do you think is the? Cause I thought of mine the other day actually, and I'll tell you mine before you give me your answer.
I'm listening.
What is the most shocking thing that you've ever seen in your life? If there's anything like massively traumatic, I don't mean that. Just like something that like you've seen like out and about in public, like
Ooh.
the fuck. So my example would be, I grew up in. Did you get an encounter there?
It was a repeat.
Ah, nice. My example is, you could probably tell from my accent, anyone who's watching who's from Britain originally. I didn't grow up in the most affluent area of the country, and there's a lot of we'll say distasteful people who hang around in my hometown, which is Hartlepool in the northeast. And one day I was near the War Memorial, which is in the centre of the town, right next to the shopping centre. And this is like, it's a really nice memorial honouring fallen soldiers in the First and Second War. But unfortunately, it seems... Oh, nice. It seems to attract either a lot of chavs.
Yeah. I know that word now.
Yeah. If anyone doesn't, that is an acronym for Council House and Violence.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if you knew even, Chase. Yeah, it's either them or emos, which I used to be one of them.
Nice.
So I can speak for that.
You fell on the right side of that divide.
Cult. Yeah. This is Loss Desk or Basket.
The last one was
What's it?
Vampire, was it not?
Vampire, yeah. So yeah, it's the kind of place that if you're really getting the taste for you getting the cravings for an earthy cigarette, that's where you'd go for one of them. I'm guessing you don't know. Do you know what one of them is as well?
I I want to say that's the Devil's Lettuce, is it not?
Yeah, there's a date in April that is associated with it. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, this it was a bit of a strange atmosphere around there. So um, one day the little chavs are trying to hang out on there, and the emos were trying to get in the mix as well. So it was a bit of like a class divide, if you will. Not obviously working class and middle class or anything, but chav versus emo. So funnily enough, like loads of emos just appeared out of nowhere, skateboarding in, thinking they're fucking John Cena or something.
Yeah, yeah, as they do.
And they eventually took it over, and the chavs had to move on, and the chavs like really frustrated. But I don't think they wanted to necessarily come to blows with the emos in that situation. So one of the chavs thought, what best? And I was just over the road at this point waiting for the bus. By the way, I wasn't involved in any of these groups.
You weren't part of the emos at this page.
I wasn't at that point. Okay. No, I'd moved on.
Okay.
From my emo roots at that point.
To the chavs or to a different group entirely?
No, just being a normal everyday person.
I see.
I say normal in inverted commas because there's nothing wrong with being either of those. Maybe a bit more wrong with being a chav than an emo, but we move. Yeah, the chavs think, well, how best do I take out my frustration? So usually the regular MO of the Hartlepool chav would be, punch a bus stop, rob a grandma. What else would they do?
Light a fire somewhere?
Yeah, go and do a bit of arson in the local recce field. But this one is a bit different. He thought, I'm going to change the game for all chavs here. So this geezer just walks up behind this fucking pigeon and boots it about 100 metres.
Oh my god.
Like,
what?
I watched him fucking pick this pigeon about like 50 metres.
Oh my god.
Like, I felt so bad. The poo pigeon. It was like literally, it was oblivious. It was like chatting to its fucking mate, like, "Hey up, pidge, mate." Like,
that's so sad.
We're having such a good day. And he just kicked the pigeon.
Oof.
About 50 metres.
That is awful. I didn't even know.
It is.
I've never seen a pigeon not react when you get close enough to it.
That's why it was so shocking to me, because usually like you can go within 5 metres behind them and they know you're there. This one, I think it must have been having a bit of scran or something. Next thing it knows, it's getting bloody
yeeted off. Oh, poor guy. Oh my gosh.
Here, by the way, mate?
Can we even get another encounter?
No. This is still the same route.
Oh, okay. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, so that was probably one of the more shocking things I've ever seen. So I wonder if you have any interesting tales to follow.
That's pretty good. I'm trying to think of... So... I wouldn't say necessarily the most shocking, but some ones that I can think of. I have two stories, one from when I was younger and one more recently. So the first one was I used to take the bus to school, like many people in the U.S., but unlike my traditional buses, it wasn't just like a school bus. So I took the city bus because I went to school in a different city from the high school that I was supposed to go to. So I took the city bus in every day to school. Oh my god, that does nothing. So I took the city bus in, and I would take it back as well. And it was just kind of a wacky place to be, like people just commuting between cities. I was like 15 years old, so people would get on and off at every stop. And one time, this guy tried to get on, and the bus driver gave him a hard time. And I was like, okay, well, what's going on? And I couldn't really see, but I could hear the guy kind of arguing with the bus driver from the door. And finally, the bus driver let him on. And This guy had just like a giant hunting crossbow um, in his hand, and just like sat down on the bus with this crossbow, which was pretty terrifying for most of the people. We were like, "What the fuck?" Um, so yeah, that was pretty alarming. Just he didn't it didn't seem to be loaded, thankfully, but just this gigantic crossbow walked onto the bus, kind of spooky. So
I think I've seen quite a few of them in my job over here, but I think the difference would be in that I think you're allowed to just carry them around in the US, aren't you?
yeah, I mean, there's really no
Not really
reason
allowed to
not
here.
to. Yeah, no, in the U.S. you can kind of carry weapons around depending on state laws and stuff, but there's that. The other one that also maybe isn't so shocking, I'm sure in your role, your job, you've seen quite a bit of this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
But one time, my girlfriend Jamie and I were just sitting out front of her house. Her grandfather lives. She lives with her grandfather, and her grandfather lives in a fairly old, like it's like 1800 was when it was built. This really old, cool, tall house, but it's on the corner, right, where like it overlooks kind of like an old railway. If that makes sense, like where the railway used to be, and they've turned it into like a walking path kind of thing. And it's right next to a bus stop as well. So you get some, pretty intoxicated, crazy people walking around every now and then. And so Jamie and I were just sitting out on the front lawn and talking, and I think we were just sitting and having a snack or something out in the sunshine. It was like 6 p.m. on a weekend. Yeah, we're just happy and talking, and then we see this guy just randomly start walking into the driveway, and her grandpa doesn't have a car, so the driveway is always empty. So it just like leads up to this garage where there's nothing really, um, and uh, and then he just stands there for a while facing the wall. And Jamie's like, I think he's pissing. And we're like, and I'm like, no, there's no way he could be just sitting there peeing. And I listened for a second, and I'm like, oh fuck, that guy is peeing. He just like walked over and started peeing on the wall. And I was like, excuse me. And he's like, he turned around a little, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. And I'm like, fucking stop. He like finally like stopped and like pulled up his pants, and he's like, I'm sorry, that was unexcusable, I'm so sorry. And then tried to walk away.
Which, before you, just to interrupt, you don't walk in this grass unless you've got a rappel on.
Okay.
Because we want to get a Whismer in the cave first, so we don't get a duplicate Whismer and then fuck ourselves.
Can we get anything up here?
I've seen people actually piss in front of me quite a lot.
Yikes.
In my job, which is interesting. Not any tried to piss on me yet.
Good. Well, that's good. I
say yet.
I'm sure you will. Jamie, who's a nurse, has had many people defecate and or pee, on them, on her. So yeah, that sucks. She one time had a woman say that she had to go to the bathroom. She tells this story way better, but she said she had to go to the bathroom, and she was helping someone else go to the bathroom, and the lady's like, no, I really need to go, and Jamie's like, well, I'll get to you as fast as I can. And by the time Jamie came out of the bathroom, this woman was holding her own poop in her hand, and explained to Jamie that she had pulled it out of herself. So tasteful. Anyway.
Do you want to get cut while you're here? It's just to the left of the.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let me see, repel. I can only buy one because we don't have enough money. I'll get cut and sell it. No, I wish. Is it this house? No, it's.
Yeah, to the left of the Poké Center, mate.
The Cutter's house.
Yeah.
Emo.
He's watching a pigeon get kicked.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Just to clarify, that the shocking story, you know what I do for a job. It doesn't include
yeah,
anything that
work
I've seen in
based.
that job. That, by the
Yeah,
way,
I'm sure
I've
I've
seen a lot
seen.
worse than that.
I'm sure I've seen other things, but those are the stories that came to mind based on the prompt. Yours was far more shocking. Far
We'll
more
see.
shocking.
The world's forever changing, so well, there's always something more shocking to come up, I'm sure.
Indeed. All right, we're at 15 minutes. Should we just call it here and do some grinding before the gym, or do we want
Yeah, that
to
sounds good. Sounds good to me, mate.
do you want me to run and get this encounter real quick in the cave?
Nah, it's fine. Just
Okay.
leave it.
We'll get it later. Okay. All right. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye now.